The hammer was raised. The chained German shepherd's fate sealed in seconds. Then a commanding voice broke through. "Stop. Don't hurt him. I'll buy him for $5. No one knew that choice would uncover a heartbreaking truth, one that would shake the entire town to its core. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The afternoon sun burned hot as Officer Ryan patrolled the dusty outskirts of town. Everything seemed ordinary until a sound made him stop cold. It was a low whimper, faint but desperate. He followed the noise and froze at what he saw. A German shepherd, ribs showing, chained tightly to a metal pole. Its head lay against the dirt, too weak to lift. Hovering above the animal was a butcher, his apron stained, gripping a hammer in his calloused hands. The man raised it higher, preparing to strike. The shepherd's eyes widened, silently pleading for mercy. Ryan's chest tightened. In that instant, he knew if he didn't act, this dog's life would end right there in the dust. "Stop!" Officer Ryan's voice thundered across the yard. The butcher lowered his hammer, glaring. "This mutt's useless," he spat. "Too weak to guard, too thin to sell. Better to put him down." Ryan stepped forward, his hand instinctively brushing the grip of his holstered weapon. "You're not killing him." The butcher laughed coldly. "Why? He's not worth a dime." Ryan's eyes flicked to the shepherd, trembling but still breathing, still fighting. He pulled a bill from his pocket. $5. He held it out firmly. "I'll buy him. Right now." For a tense moment the air was still. Then the butcher snatched the money, muttering under his breath. "Fine. Take your worthless dog." Ryan exhaled, his gaze fixed on the animal he had just bought freedom for. Ryan dropped to his knees beside the German shepherd, the heavy chain rattling as he loosened the lock. The dog flinched at first, expecting another blow, but then its eyes met his. Weak as it was, its tongue flicked out to lick his hand, a silent plea for help. "Easy, boy," Ryan whispered, carefully sliding the chain free. The shepherd tried to stand, but its legs buckled beneath its frail body. Without hesitation, Ryan scooped the animal into his arms. The weight shocked him, so light for such a large breed. Yet despite its condition, the dog pressed its head against his chest. Ryan swallowed hard. This wasn't just a rescue. This was a promise. He would never let it suffer again. The clinic doors swung open as Officer Ryan rushed inside, cradling the German shepherd against his chest. Nurses gasped at the sight of the half-starved dog, its fur matted with dirt and scars crisscrossing its body. Dr. Lewis hurried forward, eyes widening. "Get him on the table, quickly." Within moments, IV fluids were hooked, antiseptic applied to open wounds, and blankets wrapped around the trembling body. Ryan stood nearby, his fists clenched. Every whimper from the dog made his chest ache. "Will he make it?" he asked quietly. The vet hesitated, then nodded. "He's weak, malnourished, but not beyond saving. It'll be a long road, but he has fight left in him." Ryan leaned closer, stroking the shepherd's head. "Then we fight with him, whatever it takes." While the dog rested under observation, Ryan couldn't shake the question. How did a purebred German shepherd end up chained behind a butcher's shop? Dr. Lewis scanned for a microchip, and a faint beep filled the room. The screen revealed a shocking detail. The dog had once belonged to a respected family in town. Records showed he had been trained as a guard dog, registered, and healthy. But after a burglary at their property, the family reported him as aggressive and gave him up. From there, the trail darkened. Paperwork was missing, and somehow the dog had slipped into the hands of the butcher, illegally. Ryan's jaw tightened. This wasn't just neglect, it was betrayal. When word reached the community, outrage spread like wildfire. How could anyone discard such a loyal animal and let it end up in chains awaiting death? Ryan looked down at the dog, now sleeping soundly. "They gave up on you," he whispered, "but I won't." By the next morning, The story had spread across town. Neighbors gathered in small groups, whispering in disbelief. Some shook their heads in anger. Others wiped tears as they read the headline in the local paper. Officer saves shepherd from butcher's chains. Donations poured into the clinic, bags of food, blankets, even money for medical bills. Children drew pictures of the dog with bright, hopeful eyes, taping them to the clinic windows. The butcher faced public outrage, his shop nearly abandoned overnight. Meanwhile, the German Shepherd's recovery became a symbol of compassion in the community. For once, people weren't divided by politics or disputes. They were united in one thing: making sure cruelty like this would never happen again. Days turned into weeks, and slowly the German Shepherd began to heal. The sharp outline of his ribs softened as weight returned to his body. His fur, once dull and matted, started to shine again under the clinic's care. But the greatest change wasn't physical. It was in his spirit. At first, he cowered at sudden noises, tail tucked tight. Yet each time Officer Ryan visited, the dog's eyes lit up a little more. Soon his tail wagged when Ryan entered the room. One morning, he even stood on his own and walked shakily toward Ryan, pressing his head against the man's hand in trust. Weeks later, the German Shepherd was no longer broken. Strong and alert, he trotted proudly beside Officer Ryan. What began as a $5 rescue had become an unbreakable bond. Ryan adopted him, giving the dog not just a home, but a family. Together, they became a symbol of resilience and hope in the town. Looking at the once shattered shepherd, Ryan knew. Cruelty had nearly destroyed him, but kindness gave him life again. Sometimes, saving one life doesn't just heal the rescued, it transforms the rescuer too.